hallelujah, praise the Lord, and thank you, Jesus. It's around that time right here on KAZ Radio, where I have a brand new friend, none other than my friend Rawn, and Rawn is the owner of In Pursuit of
Performance training.
Performance training. Well, Ron, tell our audience, what is In Pursuit of Performance Training?
Well, thank you for having me on first, Pastor.
Yes.
In Pursuit of Performance Training is my fitness, health, and wellness company. And the meaning behind the name is simply that we're all individuals and we're all different. Yeah. So I didn't want to use, with my last name being Chislton, I didn't want to use something that said chiseled or something real cliche.
Right.
So figuring that we all are individual, we all have individual goals. So when you ask someone, what are you in pursuit of as far as your goals? One might say weight loss. Right. One might say holistic. One might say anything. So I didn't give it an end. I just left that for self-interpretation.
Wow, that's very creative because everybody isn't the same.
Correct.
And when one person's trying to lose 20 pounds, for instance, tell us the variations of, Larry, you're trying to use 20 pounds, but you're 56 years old, where I have this 20-year-old girl who's trying to use 20 pounds, right, and she may lose it doing something totally different.
She might lose it differently. She might lose it faster. You might lose it faster. You might not really want 20. You might see 20 and want more. You might see 10 and say, I'm done right here.
Right.
So everybody has their goal on paper, which is fine. You come with an idea of what you want to do. But what I won't do is give you, him, her, the exact same thing. Because, again, you're not the same person. So we always sit down. We had a consultation. I'm like, what do you want to do?
Right.
Well, I want to. And when someone says, I want to lose, which is generally 9 of 10 people I speak to.
Okay.
I want to lose. Okay. For what? Why? How? Because if we're doing destination, I got a class reunion, I got a vacation, then we'll have to talk a little further. If it's, I have a son and I want to be able to chase him around, it's all different things. So then you have to see what each person can do.
So, that's very interesting. So some people have their different motivations. Some are, sounds like some are long-term and some are short-term.
Some are very long-term, some are short and long, some are quick fix. So
yeah, is there a quick fix?
No, there's not.
Come on, man. By now, it got to be a quick fix. I want to look like Popeye. Right now, I look like Bluto. I want to be like Popeye in a week. Talk to me.
Pastor, it's funny. I've gotten everything.
Okay.
But my favorite is I need to lose 50 pounds for my high school reunion. When is it? A week and a half away. I can cut half of you off. Like, that's all I can do. It's the idea but that comes with the society as a whole. Instant gratification. Right. Everybody lives in the microwave. Everybody lives in this vacuum of I want it done now, which is why you see now the popularity and surgence of products. I'm not against products, but I'm against the idea that one thing is going to do it.
It's interesting you say that because I had spoken to different professional trainers like yourself.
Okay.
And they all say, stay away from the products.
For the most part, and I'm not an advocate, and I can assume because I'm right about this one. We say that because people take the idea of the supplement and use it as the beacon of hope. So, for example, I always tell people, well, you got this fat burning pill from whatever company.
Okay.
And ask yourself the question, if fat burning pills work, would America be overweight? The entire country. Obesity is such a high epidemic right now that you have 1 out of every 3rd person is obese. And we're not talking about like BMI obese where the chart says you should weigh this from height and weight and age. No, we're talking visual obesity and this is what you get from your doctor, etc. And you think you're just going to get this out of a bottle. Nobody would be out of shape. And when you have that person and they put all their hope in that product, you can tell by the lack of effort that they put in every other aspect. If you go to a restaurant, do you order a salad or do you order salad dressing? supplements are condiments, but nobody orders ketchup. You order fries.
Right,
So
right.
That's how it goes.
Right.
So if you're gonna use something, which again I don't advocate, but if you're gonna use it, just put it at the 5-10% at most, because things don't work unless you do. So you're not gonna take something and expect it to magically click.
Okay, let's connect the dots here. Let's go back.
Okay.
What was your motivation to start In Pursuit?
Okay. So I grew up, and I'll keep this brief, but I grew up as the overweight kid, the fat kid, dare you. And I grew up in the 80s, born 81. So I grew up with the 80s boom of when they used to promote masculinity. Okay. We can save that for another time. But when everything was big muscles and oversized everything, there was Hulk Hogan here and Mike Tyson here and Bo Jackson there, and everything was big. And I always wanted that look, didn't have it. So years later, when I dropped mine and I lost over 100 pounds at the age of 24, going into 25, my first instinct was, now I have to help somebody else do this.
Wow.
And years later, sweat, sacrifice, blood, tears, a lot of tears with it.
Right.
And that lets you know how much you really want to do it, how you stay on and persevere throughout that storm, because that storm could last a long time. It became pay it forward. And it became take this and help somebody like somebody helped you.
So this is what's kept you in this field for so many years.
So we all have two sides of our family.
Okay.
One side is, in my mother's side, we've had heart disease, cancers, different cancers, and high blood pressure, to say the least. My father's side is primarily diabetes. I lost my father in February, the day after my mother's 69th birthday. It's hard to take. And a lot of it was because of his diabetes. And my father was stubborn, hard-headed. He got sick, wouldn't sit down and rest properly. So, but even still, it was a heart attack. And so for me, it's, if I can show anyone that it can be done, look at me first, because up until I was, like I said, 24, 25, nobody would have thought that of me. You wouldn't think that of me coming out of high school, most likely to be in the fitness field. Far from it.
Far from it. Okay.
Far from it. So now it's, well, if Rawn can do it, maybe, not maybe, yes, you can. So if anybody ever was to look on my Instagram page, for example, you don't see me. I don't care what I do when I work out. Who cares? I'm showing what people can do. So with the clients, I always say, let me put this out to show the people what you can do when we work together, because it's not me. Okay. I'm teaching, I'm educating, I'm showing, I'm instructing. You still have to do the work.
How important is diet and exercise?
It's the whole thing. So we have so much information out here right now. Okay. But
clear it up for me. Make it plain.
The foundation of everything is you are what you eat. And you're not going to outwork bad eating habits. So I'm glad you said it in that order, diet and exercise, because that's how it goes. Okay. If you go to the gym and you're in the gym for an hour, but you leave the gym, and this is something I'm guilty of. I used to do this all the time. You would go to the gym, you would spend an hour, 2 hours in there, and then you would go to the closest fast food restaurant. What was the point? Because people say, well, I like to eat chocolate cake, but I eat it in moderation. But all you're eating is chocolate cake. So what difference are you making with the exercise? Zero. So it's important to have you eating together. And I always emphasize the 80-20, and 80% being clean and 20% being, stuff, so that you don't have that psychological thing of indulgence. I have to overindulge. I'm being deprived of. No, just, have a cookie if you want a cookie. Don't have the whole pack of cookies. Okay. If you want something, have it, but just be mindful of what you do, because a lot of it now is guilt tripping on self. And a lot of people go and they punish themselves, which, again, this is why we're back on products. So if you do good Monday through Friday, then Saturday comes and you go overboard. Then Monday, the next thing I see in the gym, teas, pills, bands, bags, etc. And stuff will work, but again, you have to work. And you can actually throw away a whole week's worth of effort in 2 days. you overdo it. So again, if you say 80-20, well, 80% of the time I'm good and 20% of the time I'm okay, not that 20% being a whole chocolate cake, but 20% of the time I'm okay, then you don't have to worry about dieting. You could just live. But you can live and you can have a better quality of life that way.
Okay. So what type of foods and what type of exercise help the metabolism? How often? I hear different stories.
Okay.
You should eat so many times a day. If you eat this many times a day along with an exercise routine, you'll actually lose weight. Explain that to me.
It's different theories. You have the theories of 6 times small meals keep the metabolism going, which is in the mindset of you don't dump coal on a fire. You just throw it in a little bit at a time.
Okay.
But then there's people that have 9 to 5 jobs that can't eat 3 times there and 3 times at home, or, it just doesn't always work.
Right.
Ideally, what you want to make sure you do is not starve yourself. So when you do eat, you don't overeat and you don't pack away. Right. And then you want to make sure that planning is key. You want to make sure you plan to have some fruit, have not snacks from the store. We're not talking about the store. I'm talking about planning. Have your stuff, bring it, take it wherever you have to go. But 3 is fine. 6 works if you do. The objective is to eat, because you can't drive a car without gas.
Right.
So you have to fuel for the activity, whether it be gain or loss. You still have to fuel for the activity. Beyond that, you just have to pick the right fuel for said activity.
What do you say to the guy that say, hey, look, I don't have a lot of money. Mm-hmm. I can't buy gym membership.
Okay.
I can't go and buy a lot of equipment. What type of exercises do you prescribe to the guy that says, hey, I just want to get fit? What kind of things can he do at home to begin to develop his body?
I would look him straight in the eye and tell him that his body mm-hmm. is his first instrument.
Okay.
And so you can do anything for self. The people that we have defending our great country,
yes,
they start with basic calisthenics. And true enough, everybody can afford gym membership, and then gym membership alone plus a trainer. But again, we have a lot of information at our disposal. Everybody has a smartphone. Smartphones are essentially $800-900 computers, but we have internet access on those phones. You can find anything.
Right.
The main thing is to do it.
Right.
So somebody can't do stuff. You have a floor. You can push up. You can squat. You can get a chair over. You can do dips for the back of your arms. You can find phone books and press. You can do a lot of stuff. You got to be creative. You got to just think outside the box. Wow. And again, for the stuff that people do have, then you have to utilize it. Well, I got this phone. Okay, well, maybe you don't have space for an app, but you can get on Google and find something and just pick yourself up and off the floor. A lot of times people don't realize lay down on the floor and then stand up and then do it again. Like, it exerts a lot of energy if you're used to not doing anything, because a lot of us are used to just sitting down. Sure. You can start simple. You can sit in the chair. And people sit at work all day in the chair, and you can just bend over to the side. It's a lot of little stuff. Mm-hmm. You can scoot back in said chair if your leg's under the desk, and you can't see me, but I'm raising my leg up and down. There's a lot of stuff you could do.
So it's important that you stay active.
Very much so.
Is it now?
Your heart's a muscle. You got to work that too.
Right. Now, your business is the business of helping people to do what?
Reach the goals that they bring to me as my assignment.
All right.
Because everybody, again, that's why it's in pursuit of. In pursuit of what? Everybody's goals are different.
Right.
And everybody's situation is different. Mainly it's a lot of I want to lose, but lose for what? Lose for why? Because what's the end game? And my responsibility and my job is to look them dead in the eye and tell them exactly what we can do together, and then carry out that assignment.
Well, what do you tell the guy or the gal that comes to you and says, hey, look, I just want to feel better. How can you help me feel better?
Well, we have to assess why they don't feel, I guess, good at that point.
Okay.
It might be a visual self-esteem issue. It might be actually just physical. Right. And then we go from there. A lot of people, personal trainers, barbers, hairstylists, we get a lot more information about a person than even families.
Okay.
And so I take information when we're in a training setting. People tell me everything, and more than I want to know. But nonetheless, and I respect the information I'm given. Right. But that sometimes is used as the catalyst to what assignments they're given, because if you're having insecurity about self, then we have to do something in a particular setting to make it so that you can walk with your head up.
Right.
Because a lot of people come to me like this and their head is down. What are you looking down for? Ain't nothing down there but your feet. Pick your head up.
Right.
And that's a big thing. And then from there, it just goes from there. And we reassess every month, 3 months, 6 months, whatever.
Okay,
We reassess.
Now you said that when you were younger, you were overweight. You said people probably would have never imagined you in this field.
No. No.
Okay.
But it also helps that because they couldn't have seen it and they see it now, it's the testimony.
Okay. There you go.
Dare I say gimmick, but at the same time,
Well, it's not really a gimmick. It's a testimony.
Right. And so I worked at Bally Total Fitness.
Okay.
And I worked with guys that played in the NFL. I worked with a guy that was a professional wrestler. I mean, sports entertainment professional wrestler, but even still.
Sure.
So I worked with guys who had been in shape their entire life. And so there was a lady one day, she came up and we had our pictures and our profiles by our pictures along the gym wall in the hallway. And she said, well, what's your thing? I said, well, I was where most people are, and I'm the person that got to the other side, so I've lived both sides of the line. Really? Yeah, I can't see it. Well, I'll show you a picture. They saw it, and then it allows me to let them know that, yes, you can do it too, because that's what a lot of people don't see. They see videos and they see the end result, but they don't see the sweat, the struggle, the sacrifice, and that's a lot of what I want to showcase. Right. I showcase what it took to get there, not what happens when you get there.
Tell us again, how important is motivation?
Well, motivation is one of the keys. But if I could be honest, everybody's not going to be motivated every day. So what's more important is discipline. So you're motivated to start something.
Right.
I'm motivated to expand my business worldwide, leave a legacy for my kids I haven't even had yet. So far as for my nephews. But at the same time, even I don't always want to wake up at 4 a.m. to start training at 5, but I do, because discipline is what's going to drive me to that destination to get to where I want to get to, so I can be there at the end. So discipline is always the bridge between goals and accomplishments. So it's, I got the goal, I'm motivated, but I have to discipline myself to get to the other side. So motivation starts you there, discipline carries you to the destination.
If a person wants to get in contact with you and begin to change their lives, how do they get in contact with you? Well,
so there's 3 different ways.
Okay.
And I can give the business phone number, which is 216-235-0007. That's first way. Call or text. Doesn't matter. The second way is you can find me on Instagram at In Pursuit of PT. So that's INPURSUIT PT. Or the third way, and I wasn't thinking about this when I did it, but the email address is inpursuitofperformancetraining@gmail.com. It's all one word, inpursuitofperformancetraining@gmail.com.
What are some of the best results that you've seen in your years of training?
Ooh, man, it's a great thing to actually see, because you know when you're around somebody for so long, you don't see changes, the everyday changes, until you look back at the beginning and you reflect on things.
Right.
I can honestly say I have watched, trained, measured, recorded, and weighed people losing 100 pounds plus at a time. And you're watching it, and you're there, and you're a part of it. And it's a great thing, but sometimes you say, when did this happen? But it happened when you guys started in February of this year, and then we're in April of this year, and 100 pounds later, you're like, the time just flies. And it's good because you're growing with them as well, and you're seeing how they're changing. They're becoming more confident. They're becoming more active. They're becoming more health conscious. They're making better decisions. It's changing for their families. It's changing for the people around them. They're identifying the people around them that are not in line and in tune with their goals. And so then people start talking about toxicity and separating themselves from those who don't hold their best interests at heart. So the biggest change beyond seeing, and if you look on, again, my Instagram page at In Pursuit of PT, you'll see a couple 100-pound weight losses. You'll see a lot of 80s and a lot of stuff. But then everybody knows everybody in Cleveland. So somebody knows somebody that knows that this young lady or this young man has since gone beyond that, gotten into the health industry, did something fitness related, got into sports at maybe their job. I don't know. So that's always good when you can just keep it going.
Right.
When you go beyond just a training session. You take that and then you let that just manifest into something bigger. Then you have healthy kids, healthy families, and then it creates that domino effect.
Now, are there particular hours that you provide your services?
So,
and if so, when?
I deal with a lot of working individuals that work throughout the day. So I start early. I start at 5 in the morning throughout the week till about 8. That's when my last few will leave and go off to work. And then everybody gets off work about 5. So I'll take my first one in the evening around 5:30.
Okay.
5:30, and I go till I finish, which is about 9 o'clock.
Okay.
You go, when you sleep, I'll sleep. Don't worry about me. I got you. Don't worry.
Right.
And so if you want to, you gotta want it. And if you do, I want it for you, but you gotta want it more for yourself. We can make it happen.
Tell us a little bit more about diet.
Okay.
I know you said that's like really where you can start is your diet.
Okay.
What foods are good for you?
Foods that are whole, foods that can die, foods that have one ingredient. Now, what I mean by whole foods, we're talking fruits, vegetables. We could spend 2.5 days discussing pescatarian, vegan, vegetarian, etc.
Yeah.
Find what you would like to do and try to stay as whole and natural as possible. When you start finding foods that have shelf lives, preservatives, no expiration dates, or expiration dates 1.5 years out, that's when you start putting stuff in there that wasn't meant to go inside your body.
Right.
And we only got one. And so when you start getting this instant, again, that's that microwave society thing, when you start getting the microwave stuff versus the whole stuff, you have to fall back from yourself and say, how busy am I to where I can't cut a vegetable, prepare this, let's say chicken, do whatever it is you got to do, versus just knowing that conveniently you can nuke that. But what are you putting in? Because when you have something on an ingredients list that you can't pronounce, you might want to stay away from that, or minimize it at best.
I heard it been said, and I've proven it myself, that when you go to the grocery store, everything along the perimeter wall,
because everything along the perimeter wall can die. So you walk into the grocery store, first thing you have is produce, dead in a day, and then you have the meat departments and all that, and then you have the dairy and all that.
Fish.
When you get into the aisles, you have cereal, grains, stuff, and stuff that you can even have to a minimum, but then you get crap, and that's where you see a lot of people go up and down. Crap. And so I always say there is the immediate garbage that everybody knows. And we're talking sugary cereal. We're talking pastry for breakfast. We're crap, and stuff that you could leave sitting out and it won't turn. I mean, you could leave fruit out for a couple of days and then you got flies in your kitchen. You can leave this out and you can forget it's there, and then it's there for Christmas. So that's the stuff you don't want in your system. Hey, the air got to this and nothing happened. What's it doing inside you? Don't want that in.
You don't want that.
Don't want that in you. You don't want that in you. Again, when you break down food, you could spend days talking about, high fructose corn syrup this, artificial that, enriched flour, blah blah blah. Everybody knows what's the immediate garbage. You don't wake up eating cake, ice cream, cookies, pie. You don't wake up eating that stuff. And even when you call it something like, say, a tart, donuts, when you wake up with stuff that has been brainwashed and put into our minds to be what we should have at certain times, you don't have to. You could just wake up a little earlier, go to bed a little later, or just plan it. I don't know anybody who's that busy beyond what they say, that's that busy where they can't take 30 minutes and just cut this and prepare that and just have it ready. Because that'll save you money too. Because now you're not going to find something at a store. Because I tell you,
guilty.
And guilty myself. Because I'll tell you, the worst offender, but the biggest money makers now aren't fast food places, they're gas stations. You can get it all in a gas station. I can go to a gas station and I can get gas and I can get food, whole food, snack food, cat litter, I can get oil and
get coffee.
You get everything. You can get coffee, you can get windshield wiper fluid. You can get everything in a gas station now.
Right.
And I got points. So what? Or you could take your money, put it in your pocket. Because the worst thing is to buy lunch every day, Monday through Friday, after going to the grocery store on Sunday. That's the worst thing you could do. Because all you're doing now is a disservice to yourself, a disservice to your account, and you're not helping yourself long term. You either pay for this now or pay when you see the doctor later. And it happens. And that's really why it happens. It's just a slow build, but it's still a build. And when you get into, well, my such and such, my uncle, my dad, my father, they ate all this stuff growing up and nothing happened to them. Are you sure?
Right.
I mean, how sure are you?
And then I'm sure the lifestyles were different. You
Yeah,
know,
because
they were burning so much energy.
Right. Because
because they were working in mills or
I might be
factories.
in the last generation of people that didn't have everything at their disposal.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't that accessible to the information that's out there now.
Sure.
So in my era, nobody had a phone. We had pagers because we thought we were cool, but so what? You had a pager and you paid for it.
Right.
But my nephew's 11, turning 12, and he's got a phone. He texted me the other day. I'm like, "Who's this?" He's like, "Jalen, you got a phone?" And so,
how important? How important is how often? Let's put it this way. I know exercise is important.
Okay.
How often should you conscientiously do exercises?
You know what? Even if you did 2, people think 2's not enough. If 2's more than 0, and if you're doing 0, then 2 gets you started.
How long?
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
30 minutes. We're talking somebody that's starting off.
Yeah.
Start off with 30. And I'm gonna tell you why I say that. People can go months and years without doing anything. First thing they do, very cliche, beginning of the year.
Right.
I'm ready, and then they jump out the gate. I'm gonna go 7 days a week. Why? Like you're gonna go on a basketball court and challenge Michael Jordan? I'm not. Pace yourself. Walk before you run, and you jumped out there and started sprinting with Usain Bolt. Big mistake.
Right.
You pace yourself. 2 days. Turn it into the third, or take your 2 days and make it longer. Figure out what works best for your schedule and what you'll commit to. And you can do that in 2 days. Some days I get so busy, all I can get is 2. Because I'm either tired from working all day long, or I have stuff that I have to do. So I say, okay, well, I got these 2 days. I got to make it count.
Talk cost.
As far as?
Guy, gal wants to come to you that they want to work out 2, 3, 4 days a week. Okay, so I'm glad you said that, because honestly, I don't have people that come for. I don't want anybody, unless you want to. But I don't want you to feel as if you're dependent upon that much instruction and that much. I want you to, nobody trains with me forever. Nobody trains with anybody forever. Okay. At some point, somebody's going to move on for whatever reason. Right. I just moved. My kid's going to school. Sure. Doesn't matter. Somebody's always going to leave. So in those 2 or 3 sessions per week, we're learning together. We're learning each other, but you're learning to be self-sufficient at the time that you do go on. Right. Because like right now, we're ending vacation time and we're getting back into school time. Right. But I have 1, 2, 3. I have 4 people gone all summer. Spend the summer with their kids. Fine. But nobody's gained weight. Nobody's done anything because they've learned what to do, and they've all checked back in. Coach, I'll be back next week. Coach, I'll be back September 1st. Okay, great. But ideally, you want to be able to sustain yourself when you're not with me. So if you can do more than 2 days a week, let's say you work out with me too, but you have a membership to this gym over here, then you can go 2 on your own. And what I do is I do the stuff that you haven't thought of, you don't know, or I'm specific with nuances. I correct the form. And you can find me for
package deals, 200 or 300, we're doing 25 a session. You know, I'm not trying to break anybody's wallet. I'm in the position of, let me help you without you being able to, well, you not feeling like you have to budget around things that are important.
Right. And so
Yeah.
so right now you have a gym you utilize, or is it a facility that you have yourself?
I'm in a facility.
Okay.
And the facility is called the Voltage Training Center, 1633 Lee Road. We're working out of the old Naturally Gifted Fitness Center on Lee Road, right off Lee and Mayfield.
Got it.
So if you're familiar with the Rockefeller Center or the Starbucks over there, the Civic, which is right around the corner, we're right there. You'll see the sign right outside the door.
Awesome.
And so if you want to get in contact with me, the 3 ways, like I said, the phone number, 216-235-0007. You can send me a message on my Instagram at in pursuit of PT, excuse me. Ignore when it says no DMs. That's neither here nor there. Or you can send me an email at inpursuitofperformancetraining@gmail.com.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it right here first on KAZ Radio Television Network. You can contact Rawn Chislton, and he doesn't put his name into the company's name.
No.
Is In Pursuit of Performance Training. If you desire to beat the mad rush that's coming, especially around the first of the year after Christmas, before Christmas, people want to
Bring it on.
have their their New Year resolution. Hey, forget the New Year resolution. Start now, and get your life in order.
I'm glad you said that, Pastor. Don't plan to start. Just
Start now.
I plan on starting, or just start.
Right.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Nike had it right. Just do it. Well, hey, my friend, again, I want to thank you for being a part of KZ Radio Television family.
Thank you for having me.
This particular broadcast is seen all over the world, obviously, and on many platforms. So please share, and share some more. Until next time, Ron, we'll give them again your contact information because we can't give that out enough.
Okay. You can contact me by phone, 216-235-0007, on Instagram at INPURSUITOFPT, or you can email me at inpursuitofperformancetraining@gmail.com.
Excellent. Thank you, my brother, and we look forward to having you back again real soon.
Thank you. God bless you all.
I tagged you.